The Super Eagles of Nigeria. The final preparations for the African Cup of Nations that will take place in Egypt will begin on Sunday with invited players, the technical crew, and administrative staff expected to start arriving in Asaba, the Delta State capital. During the first phase of camping, the Super Eagles will play a friendly match against the Warriors of Zimbabwe at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba on June the 8th. Alfred, I look at the Super Eagles team and the progression that we've seen them, achieve right from the qualifiers for the World Cup to the World Cup to the qualifiers for the Cup of Nations to this stage. The expectations that Nigerians are having is we have the quality to go to the World Cup and make a big statement, particularly that we have missed out of the last 2 editions.
Yeah, I think that expectation is not misplaced because if you look at the Super Eagles team, it's been a while that we've had a consistent team, consistent management. General has been here for a while now. He qualified us for the World Cup. We missed the last Nations Cup, qualified us for the Nations Cup. And one thing that he's done is that he's kept faith with the players that he believes that will give him results. Almost the same team that went to the World Cup, still together. I think it's a plus, right? Whichever way you look at it. So for that, we don't have new players, coming to really change things. It's still about the same players that we have, and so to that extent, I think we expect too much from this team. To the last 4, who says to the last 2, and see how far they can go. For some of the players, they will be making their debut at the Nations Cup. Yeah. Like, say for the likes of Kenneth Omero, who was in the squad in 2013. Mikel Obi, yeah, who was also went to the Nations Cup when we won the Nations Cup 2013. Yeah, 2013, in South Africa. Yeah. So for some of them, they will understand what football really means at the continental level because they've not played the Nations Cup before. So I think it will be a learning curve for some of them. Hopefully, was that there?
Yeah. So about the 3 of them, and that's it, for this team. So when General comes out to say it's a young team, that's maybe the
in terms of experience.
Yeah.
In terms of experience, Nations Cup, we understand what the Nations Cup is, how big it is, because a lot of them just say, okay, we'll play home and away, we'll go to the World Cup, but the Nations Cup is a big tournament, and when you go there, it's Africa's...
So, for instance, Kenneth Omero has been to the Cup of Nations, he's been kicked severally, understands African football. William Troost-Ekong is here to go through that. Leon Balogun is here to go through that. Alex will be here to go through that. So that's it. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will begin the final phase of preparation for the African Cup of Nations on Sunday. I told you that they're expected to start arriving in Asaba, the Delta State capital, on that day. Players and officials will travel to the Egyptian city of Ismail the following day and spend, that's after the match against Zimbabwe, they leave Asaba the following day and spend a full week perfecting tactics and strategies before taking on Africa's #1 ranked team, Senegal, in another friendly in Ismaili. So I put those dates down, very important. On June the 17th, the 3-time African champions, the Super Eagles, will travel to Alexandria, the venue of their Group B matches against Burundi, Guinea, and Madagascar. So Alfred, now we know how much Nigerian football fans follow their football. Look at what they are saying again for Flying Eagles. Flying Eagles. So Super Eagles now. I don't think there will be any room for excuses.
No, there's never been any team that goes to the Nations Cup and we just sit back and say we don't follow it. This is, if you like, the World Cup of, African World Cup. This is the best of the best when it comes to the continent. And we know that our teams over the years have been consistent in Nations Cup. Yes, we didn't qualify for the last 2 editions. It might have has its own effect on us, but now that we are there, I think it's time we make good use of it. Before we won it, we also absent from the Nations Cup. Went there in 2013, and I was in Esprit in Bombela when we played our first 2 games. Everybody was like, no, this team cannot, there's no way this team can get to the finals of the Nations Cup. People didn't start believing until we beat Cote d'Ivoire. It was the moment Cote d'Ivoire, we beat Cote d'Ivoire, it was like, hey, these guys, it's like they've arrived. This is the time to back them, and they finished the job against when we played.
They were just
Burkina
testing
Faso.
the blood pressure of Nigerian football fans. The Nigerian football fans were surviving. Some go to hospital, come back. Doctor will say, "Don't worry, everything will be all right." Yeah, imagine, you know. So when they defeated Cote d'Ivoire, will say yes. Now the blood pressure is balanced. But let me tell you, when the draw was made, I got a message on this show. One guy said, with Burundi, Madagascar, and Guinea, that the Super Eagles will be training in the group phase while other persons are playing. That they don't have an excuse, or they should not say they are tired, that they are, oh my God, that's football fans for you. So,
African football is a different kind of fish altogether. You think that when the Burundians come, they will just lie over
particularly, go find out how they qualified. That's what a lot of people don't know. So you think because your country is doing so well in football, others are just folding their hands?
Give credit to the Super Eagles setup, the national team setup. Now, we've done a lot of scouting, a lot of background check. That I know. General is a very, very meticulous person. I've had cause to talk to some of the backroom staff, how he sets up his team when they want to play, the distance that he goes in getting information about his opponents. And so to that, we have to give him credit for that. Yeah. And I think this is not the World Cup where we say, okay, it's from a different cup. This is the Nations Cup. Everybody expects you to win, play well and win this competition. I think we have the men and material to deliver. I
totally agree. It's the Super Eagles of Nigeria, three-time African champions, and going to the Cup of Nations this year comes with a lot of promises. Let's see what they can deliver when that tournament kicks off in Egypt on June the 21st. We're rooting for the Super Eagles and should do just that. Let's get on with the show now. Continue our countdown to the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup. Just seven. That competition will kick off in France on June the 7th. That's next week Saturday and run till next week Friday and run till July the 7th. So 7 more days to go. So you can just say, from next week, the World Cup is here. And the Nigerian Football Federation, they have revealed that the Super Falcons will now play a Slovakian top division club in the country on Sunday in Slovakia. A top division club in Slovakia on Sunday, and not the Slovakia women national team as earlier stated, setting the record straight. It's a club, it's not a national team. The Super Falcons will be up against ZNK Pomorje Beltinci, which boasts 8 players in the Slovakian national squad. So it's good for us. It's good test, Alfred. And I've looked at this team. Yes, the group is difficult. So what? We'll just go in there, play football. Just do your part. And that's what the NFF they're doing. And, of course, the technical crew led by Thomas Dennerby.
You know what? Nobody expects us to qualify from that group. If you look at the opponents that we have, nobody expects us to qualify. And that, I think, just gives the girls it's like me against the world. They've had a fantastic preparation for this competition in Austria, where they've been camped for a while now. And they were making the trip to Slovakia, arrived at 2:30, play 4 p.m. and come back from there. They'll head out again before they head into France on Tuesday next week. I think one thing they have going for them is that, their itinerary, everything is just planned out, and we expect them to, nobody, like you said, the opponents are, some of them come with a big history behind them, pedigree and the rest of them. So for the girls, this is the opportunity they have to show the world that our girls rock, we can play football. And I think positive things beginning to happen to this team. Only today, the announcement came that Asisat Oshoala has spent a permanent deal.
Beautiful.
With Barcelona, which is a good one. You look at, if Asisat has been the guy, you look at a player that plays for Liverpool, plays for Arsenal, now play for Barcelona. Not many players can boast of that CV. It just tells you that she's mixing it up.
And fantastic experience. She played in the Women's Champions League final, scored, made record as the first African to actually achieve that. And look, when you play with Barcelona, I mean, she got close to greatness in Lionel Messi. They talked, she took pictures. That's really good for the team, because when she goes to the World Cup, you will see a different Asisat Oshoala. Now, try to compare what you saw at the African Women's Cup of Nations. You will know that she has actually developed.
It's all about mentality, and I think it's beginning to bode well for our girls. Her playing for Barcelona, scoring the Champions League final, I think it will give opportunity to other girls in our national team setup. We've seen what kind of the one that was that replaced Omotong in Nashville. I mean, she went to the Wafu Cup and started scoring with reckless abandon. So this team is full of ball players, and it's like the team against the rest of the world. And we just hope and expect that these girls will just rise up to that challenge, take the challenge, and if they progress from the group, I think it will be a massive achievement for these girls.
That's right, massive.